We're not doing Jody Jackson's Gems if we don't swing big. Jody, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers, which is great because now we can swing over to the Cardinals. Preseason football, thank goodness, is behind us. It's in the rearview mirror. We have a couple weeks to sit and get ready for the start of the season. I like the direction the organization is heading. That's easy to say. I don't know if I like having 3 home games out of the first 4 in September. Kind of like to have it spread out, but the way the schedule is, opening up at Buffalo, then you have the Rams, Detroit, Washington, all at home. What do you make out of this first month as we come into the start of the Cardinals season?
Well, it's funny, going back to my plane ride 5 hours from Boston, I started to stream the game on my NFL Plus, and then I was watching it and thinking, why?
Right.
What I did gather, though, is that clearly the backups for the Cardinals have been getting beaten by the other team's backups, and that's a little bit of a concern. But I think I'm looking forward to, like everybody here in the Valley, seeing everyone together, because I think the strength of this team is clear. It's Kyler Murray, it's James Conner, it's Marvin Harrison Jr., along with Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, all the offensive weapons. I'm leaving out even a couple guys because they have so many weapons, but I think the true key is going to be the offensive line.
What I'm wondering is when you look at Jonathan Gannon and you see the approach that he is going about along with the general manager, Lonnie Ossenfort, the 1-2 tandem, Jody, how do you feel about the direction of the organization with those two? Or is it still, you know what, Brad, we're only coming into year number 2. Can't give you a solid assessment yet.
Well, I think the philosophy has been good. They're very adaptable. They're tough. It's a tough team. The type of beliefs that the two guys are spreading together among the guys that they've brought in, guys that love football, guys that are completely dedicated to football, those are really showing up. And I think it showed up last year. I mean, last year's draft class was very productive. I think we're interested in seeing, what is this year's class going to show beyond. I think everyone, it feels pretty good about Marvin Harrison Jr., but the later round picks, is it going to be a guy like Rabbit in the secondary? He's got a lot of speed. How will that show up? You've got now with Darius Robinson being injured, that was really tough to see. I don't know how long he's out. I know they haven't really said, but that guy was going to be electric. The practices that I saw. So, but you can't, that's one thing about JG is that there's never pity party. It's moving on. It's next man up. I mean, and that's most football coaches actually, but they're going to have to find that pass rush. They're going to find but I think together, what those two have shown, a unified front, with the coaches that have been brought in. I was very impressed with both coordinators last year, Nick Rallis and Drew Petzing, and I think that'll just get better. I mean, these guys were only doing this it's the first year together, and I think I loved for example, on offense, it already took a huge leap past what Cliff Kingsbury was doing when it comes to creativity, when it comes to the run game. I mean, there was so much that was there that could have been, it almost makes you a little bit angry because you think, what could they have been doing if they had a little more of just a scheme that was, going to allow more deception, Kyler under center a little more, all the things that create, basics in an offense that create deception for the defense. And then, Rallis and again, and I know as a defensive guy, too, and what they're putting together, I do believe in. I just want to see if this draft class can be as productive. And because I'm pretty sure that they'll take a step forward this year. I think everyone feels confident with Kyler out there with more weapons on offense. James Conner just continues to prove. Running backs usually they drop off. He's getting better, it looks like, with each year so far. And so I am excited to see it. I don't know how many wins it will equal, but I do think that it is a real functional group that they have put together under that leadership.
Fun stuff. Chopping it up every week. Jody Jackson's Gems, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers. Jody and I will get together every Monday and just bounce around. We're going to talk about mom with a quarterback in college some weeks. Some weeks it's a high school daughter. Some weeks it's just on the run. It's speaking engagements. It's whatever. And it's brought to you every week by E.D. Marshall Jewelers. Jody, good stuff. Thanks.
Great to be with you, Brad. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you next week.